Imagine that you have apps that are what I call triad apps that combine quantum computing, AI, and big data. You guys know all those things, right? Quantum computing now has become pretty straightforward. People are talking about it. And quantum computing does basically 5 seconds what takes a supercomputer, not just a regular computer, supercomputer, 10,000 years to do. So you're looking at massively fast calculations. It doesn't do everything perfect on for everything, but you're getting the gist of like where that's going in terms of speed. And big data holds obviously all the data, and AI, how much that's accelerating. You now have AI that beating not only humans at all the board games, but also analyzes data in medicine and is actually beating doctors at analyzing disease. All those things are going to be in an app. And imagine you're going to have all the big companies having competing apps. So, Google, Apple, Oracle, Microsoft, Amazon, every one of them is going to have an engineering app and a chemistry app, and you name it. So in the end, you're going to have a little mobile device that can access this information. And what would take you months in research to do, you're going to be doing this in seconds, right? And it's not even you doing it, it's this app. And you'll be able to pay by the second, by the minute, by the hour, lease it, right? It's a pay as you go. That's going to be the technology, and that's the system and the society that we'll be in. So at that point, you have to ask, what's the value of a human, right? Why are you valuable? Why are you relevant in that society? And the only answer is that you have creativity, emotion, and intuition, which is all these things that in the end AI doesn't have. You have to understand about creativity is that you are the entity you sense and perceive yourself to be. Ask the questions, but then you are not providing the answers to those questions. So you're not doing all those things. You, as the entity you sense and perceive yourself to be, are only asking the question. There's really 3 components that are answering the question. So you have one component that I call creative thought, one is reactive thought, and one is rational thought. And you literally have all 3 giving you answers. And so then you're choosing amongst those answers. And then you're choosing amongst them and then seeing which one has more validity, which one has more meaning to you, right? Then you choose and then you move forward. So what's really, really important is that you understand that creativity is a co-creation. Incremental innovation is created and breakthrough innovation is discovered. Okay. Now, the scientific term for discovered, the term I use is source. Okay. So one of my ventures is oisource.com, and we have an online course that I'll talk about here in the end that puts questions, answer statements in a system where it helps you innovate and start thinking like a breakthrough innovator. I have a course called Innovative Thinking Process, the ITP. It's a 90-minute course that leads you on a path to be able to do the same process that these breakthrough innovators did, mentally, cognitively. The breakthrough innovators, the really, really top level innovators, they understand that there's a separation between them and the thoughts coming to them. So for instance, Einstein and Tesla never said they created anything. They said, I discovered this, always. They can sense that this is information that's coming to them. Really, the best innovators can sense information coming to them and they're able to use it, okay? And that information is coming to them only because they're asking a question. Because if you're not asking a question, you're not getting any information from the outside. You're asking questions. As an individual, as a human, the question is the most powerful metaphysical tool you have, bar none. The most powerful as a metaphysical tool. And I know you think, oh, question is just a request for information. It's not. Request for information is just a request for information. Every single innovation, every single breakthrough has happened because somebody said, I wonder why, or why did this happen? So it's a question. And no educators and no neuroscientists understand what a question is. So I'm going to lay out for you a definition of what a question is so you can understand why it's the most powerful metaphysical tool that humans have. Question opens a place in your mind for answers to fit. That's why the entire education process right now is counterproductive. Because if you're memorizing things just to regurgitate on a test, it's really not interconnecting with what's going on. The natural way for you learning things has to be where you're asking a question and then being able to use those answers within something new. The questions we talked about, that's a place in your mind where answers fit. So as soon as you have a place in your mind where answers fit, now you can start the process of creativity, because without questions, you really are not going to be able to be creative. And in music, for instance, you think, well, you're not asking questions in music. Actually, you're in continuous question mode in music. Continuous. When you are playing, you're listening. Is the note right? Is the feeling right? What am I doing? You're asking questions continuously. You might not even recognize it, but you're continuously listening. How am I playing in comparison to others? What's it sound like? How is it supposed to sound like? It's not an outright physical question that you're asking, but the entire time you're questioning. And so you're open to that information. If you weren't asking questions, then you'd be playing wrong notes. You wouldn't be playing with anybody. You wouldn't be playing things that matter to you. So you're continuously asking questions. So within art and music, you're like in this continuous stream of asking questions. So that's a very, very powerful thing. Part of the components that you have is intuition. So intuition is something, again, that AI doesn't have. And intuition doesn't mean intuition is always right. People go, oh, listen to your intuition. It's not your personal intuition. Imagine there's a database. It's just like everyone has an app on their phone. It's not your own personal app. There's a central location that has that app, and that app is customized to you on your phone. So your intuition is customized to you, but there's one intuition. And that intuition is not like people think it's meant for your success. It can be meant for you to fail as well. Intuition is there so that humans can interact, period. So let's take an example of that. I like to use extreme examples because when you use kind of general examples, it's not clear enough like what's going on. So an extreme example of cooperation is a wave in a stadium, okay? Nobody is getting up there and saying, okay, this section do this and this section get up. Everyone gets it. Everyone starts to wave a little bit, then another wave, then another wave, and everyone gets it. There's an intuition that goes around, and if you had 10,000 monkeys, they'd never be able to do wave. They don't get what's going on. So we're able to, as humans, have that intuition and understand what's going on in order to be able to do that wave and cooperate. On the other side, the intuition saying, these guys are attacking, we need to defend ourselves, and then all of a sudden intuition leads you into war. So you can have intuition lead you into war and lead you into mass cooperation that's uncoordinated. So intuition is there for interaction. So as long as you understand that, then you can use that as a tool. And again, the ITP, the innovative thinking process, forces you to use intuition as a tool versus just generally using intuition saying, oh, I want to do this, and go ahead and do that, right? Because that may not be the right way to go. It may be something that you need to find information on. Intuition does not give you a guarantee for success, but it makes you feel like, oh wow, I need to do this, because emotion is surrounding it. Emotion is always the key to creativity, because it's a stimulant for your thoughts and for what you're doing. But again, emotion can also take you in the wrong direction. The emotion is not there for your benefit and for your success. Emotion is there for interaction, just like intuition is there. And so the ITP allows you to use emotion as a tool in order to innovate. Because otherwise, I always have the colloquial statement saying, either you're using emotion or emotion is using you. That's it. It's one or the other. It's a binary action. And so it could be a little bit using you or a little bit using emotion, but it's one or the other. And so the people that have learned to control their emotion, usually executives at the top levels, generals, people that are always in stressful situations that learn to control emotion, they're using their emotion as tools. The ITP teaches you that process so you don't get hoodwinked into doing something by emotion that's not going to be productive for you for innovation.